Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we'll be making some high fiber dinners, and these aren't your normal dinners, okay? These are meal prep certified. So the thing is, we're making a huge batch all at once. So it's perfect for those days where you just want to do one and done and have dinners or lunch for the week. And they are perfect to freeze as well. Also too, not to mention, they are fully customizable. I'm adding a whole lot of veggies and lentils and beans, but you can add whatever you like into these things. I just love simple recipes that are very customizable and very easy just to like do what you want with them. You don't have to totally follow the recipe, bit by bit. Do whatever you like, do whatever you want, and trust me, it'll turn out good. Let me not keep the intros too long. I just want to mention that these dinners have fiber, of course, protein, healthy fats, whole grains, beans, legumes, all the things you would want. And one thing I love to do is I make a huge batch one day. I have it for, 3 days in a row, then freeze the rest, and then have it for up to a month in the freezer and do what you want with it. You can have it for lunch one day, have it for dinner one day, have it for breakfast. There's no rules, okay? So do whatever you like. Hope this helps someone, and I'll see you guys in the next one. First, let's start off with this high fiber chili that has lentils and beans. It's so good. This is a pretty simple recipe. You do not need a whole lot of stuff. I have some turkey, some diced tomatoes, kidney beans, and whatever veggies you have on hand. I had onions and some bell peppers. But also, by the way, I have never looked at a chili recipe in my life, so I'm not sure if this is authentic, but this is just what I came up with, and it's really good. It works out. I'll have the full recipe in the description, but with the lentils, I have some green lentils, 2 cups of them, and you want to soak them. You don't have to soak them. It just makes it easier and less cook time when you do soak them. Also, another good option is to use red lentils instead. These will totally disappear in the chili and they cook pretty fast without any soak time. So that's definitely an option if you want something a bit easier. So while that is soaking, just prep your veggies. And again, you can add whatever veggies you like, whatever you have on hand. And just a reminder, we're making a huge batch. So this is 3 pounds of ground turkey. This is a lot of meat. So preferably you want to cook it in batches. I got distracted by filming. I don't know, filming just makes me kind of like space out where I just put it in all at once. Totally not a big deal, but you just want to cook that until it's pretty much done and then drain all the fat. This is a lot, so definitely drain that. And then after that, I just separate the meat and then you want to saute your veggies. Back in the day, I used to be pretty basic with my chili, just add the typical, beans and stuff. But now it's like chili is a great foundation to add all the veggies and all the things you can because it kind of disguises everything. Definitely get creative. You can add carrots, you can add zucchini, I've added spinach at some points. Like there's so many options. And now we are sauteing the tomato paste, and trust me, it makes a huge difference. When you do this, you are caramelizing the natural sugars in the paste. Doing this deepens the flavor and enhances the flavor and makes a better foundation for any dish. I know some people get pretty passionate about their chili recipes, so let me know in the comments what you add to your chilies to make them delicious. I would love to know. And again, this isn't really an authentic recipe or anything like that. I just made this up myself. Also, the order that I'm doing things in is totally random. You can definitely do what you like. Sometimes I add the meat first, then the tomatoes and stuff. And, it definitely doesn't matter. It all tastes the same at the end. So usually I use chicken stock, but instead I'm using the paste. So I'm just adding water and adding the paste later. But do what you like. Again, this is totally like just a blueprint or a guideline, and then just tweak it to your taste. Since I added the water already, I'm just making a concentrate with the paste and just adding it in there. And that's pretty much it. This is the time to add your lentils. At this point, they should have been soaking for at least 30 minutes. I love lentils because along with beans, they're one of the highest fiber foods you can eat, and they have iron, they have fiber, protein, all the stuff. And also they help to thicken the chili naturally as they cook, so that's a bonus. One thing I've been meaning to do is to formulate or just combine my own chili seasoning mix. I know it's super easy, I just haven't gone around to doing it yet, so I just use a packaged one I got at Aldi. Use whatever ones you like, preferably something that has more clean ingredients. And just let this simmer for however long the lentils take to cook. Depending on how long you let them soak, it could take 30 minutes, it could take an hour. But just make sure you check on it and stir kind of often, because I find that the lentils kind of sink to the bottom and stick to it if you do not stir it. So definitely stir it and make sure that's not happening. For some reason, I add the beans last. You can add it while the lentils are cooking, but I just wanted the lentils to have their moment to just spread out and cook because the beans are already cooked, so they do not need much time in the chili. But again, do what you like, do whatever works for you. But at this point, everything is finally done. I find that chili is so versatile, so pair this with whatever you like. Some days I do a sweet potato, some days I have it alone or on a salad. Today I had it with my high fiber rice. Check out my previous video where I did this purple rice with black lentils and peas. I just added that in there with avocado on top, and yum guys, this was like really good. So good, it kept me full for a while. Also too, this is a great thing to have for lunch because sometimes I don't want anything crazy heavy for dinner, so this is a great thing to get you throughout the day if you have it for lunch. And again, this makes a ton of servings, so I freeze the rest and then I have chili for the rest of the month. Let me know if you want a video going deeper into how I do all this, but I freeze everything. It's the perfect meal prep hack. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe, and yeah. And next we have a green Thai curry that has just a couple extra things, you know me. And again, this is not authentic. This is just my take on it. I've been making Thai curry for years and I used to make it the authentic way and stuff. But as I went on, I just kept adding things I thought would work. And every time it just works. So again, do what you like, but trust me, it's a great foundation to add whatever. Use whatever curry paste you have on hand. Today I'm using green, but usually I have red curry paste and I think I like that one a little bit better. So just like the tomato paste, you want to saute and kind of bloom the curry paste. But before we get into all that, I want to highlight something about coconut milk, and that is how much saturated fat is in here. It's crazy. 65% of the daily value is only in 1/3 of a cup of coconut milk, which is crazy because I used to use this thing in everything. So if you have high cholesterol or you're watching your cholesterol, definitely make sure you look at all these sources of the saturated fat, because I had high cholesterol in the past and I thought coconut milk was a fine option to have multiple times a week, but now I know better, so I only have it like once a week at most, or if I do get coconut milk, get the light version. So let's mix that in until it's well incorporated and nice and creamy. Then we're going to add our veggie stock concentrate. Usually I use chicken stock, but I've been obsessed with this thing lately, and we're just going to add the paste straight in there. Usually you're supposed to add it with like about 8 ounces of water, but since we're getting the water from the frozen veggies and stuff, I'm just going to let it do its job like that and not dilute the curry further. I'm using chicken thighs today, but if you want something a little less fatty, use chicken breast. Also, another thing is trim the fat off the chicken thighs. I didn't do that, and then it ended up being a little bit greasy. But like I said, filming makes me kind of just space out and not do what I normally do. So learn from my mistakes. Definitely trim the chicken thighs. And this is the easy part. Add whatever frozen veggies you have on hand. I love frozen mixed veggies. I love sliced mushrooms, all the stuff. You can add frozen butternut squash, frozen green beans. Also, what'll work too is like the frozen stir fry mix. You can add that in there. Trust me, it all works because Thai curry is such a delicious base that you can add whatever you want in here and it'll taste delicious. So we are getting a lot of water from the frozen veggies cooking in this broth, so you do not need to add any extra water. So let that cook for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then the wild card is adding beans. I just started doing this within the past year and it works. Use like a neutral bean like this. This almost works too well. I'm, kicking myself for not doing it sooner, but it's going to add the fiber, some more protein. You're going to be fuller from it, more satiating, and you're going to have more plant diversity. So many benefits, and it's delicious. And there you have it. This is all done. Pair it with whatever. Again, this is meal prep friendly, so you can have this for days on end. And trust me, I don't get tired of it. This thing is so good. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that, but it's so good. Some nights I pair it with a sweet potato or just some rice. You can have a slice of sourdough toast. Opportunities are endless. But yeah, I hope you guys make this. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or concerns or tips and tricks. I would love to know. And yeah. Hey guys, I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I also have a few things to mention. So when it comes to fiber and eating more of it in your day-to-day life, it's not really about excluding anything or subtracting. It's more about adding things in. So with the chili and the curry, I added things into it because in the past when I had these recipes, it was still delicious and I loved it. But now I just added beans, I added the lentils, and it doesn't change the flavor much, but you're still getting a whole lot of fiber. So it's a win-win. And another thing I want to mention is that the minimum recommended daily amount of fiber is 25 grams a day for women and 38 grams a day for men. But also, don't just focus on a number. Just focus first on eating more plant foods. That's the best way to make it sustainable. Just focus more on adding more plant foods, more whole grains, more nuts, more seeds, fruits, vegetables, legumes, beans, all the things. You're going to naturally eat more fiber in your life without focusing on just a number. Because yeah, the amount of grams you eat in a day is important, of course, but also it's more important to just focus focus on eating plant foods and plant diversity. The more plants you eat, the more diverse your gut will get, and that's a win-win in all situations. So definitely save this and share it if you want some more fiber recipes in the future, because this whole channel is going to be all about fiber, nutrition, and gut health. So I'm so excited for what is to come. Definitely subscribe, like, share, all the things. Let me know in the comments which recipe you're most excited to make. But yeah, I hope this helped you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.